Hi, it's Darren from Investor Income. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for visiting, and we're looking at Forex today and studying my system, a system I've developed myself over the last 10 years, and last 4 years I've been trading profitably, so that's 14 years in total. The first 10 years were quite painful, especially in Forex. I wish I was trading Nadex in those days, but I wasn't. I was trading Forex, and it was tough. Last 4 years have been increasingly profitable, and especially the last 2 years have been pretty outstanding, really. And this system here we've developed further. Started a trading group. I also sell my strategy. So if you want to get in contact, it's very affordable. Just email investyourincome@gmail.com and I'll let you know. And also, if you can subscribe to the channel if you appreciate my content, that would be much obliged. I would appreciate that, and a few likes here and there. Never go amiss. I'm only a tiny channel. But I'm one of the few people out there who actually trades for a living profitably. And yes, I'm selling my system because I'm not going to give it away for free. But that's just the way of the world, and I don't think you'd expect any less. So we're going to go into the details here. So these are the positions I've taken. There were numerous positions at this point because I was actually testing a part of the strategy here. So a lot of these positions just closed out for small profit, but I left the two main positions on here. Down to the moving average here. We use different moving averages than most, and we keep our system completely different to anyone else. That is the whole point. And the basis of that is that if you are trading against the best banks and hedge funds in the entire world, and they have been developing their algorithms over time, they are pretty much aware of most things that traders do, and the market makers can also see where you've got your stop losses and where your money is held. So they know exactly what you don't know, and that's why everyone gets cleaned out. So we need to go a little bit smarter, and we trade completely differently here. That's the whole point. I try and make sure every element of my strategy is nothing to do with what anything else online says. So if I see something online that is a part of this strategy, I'll be amazed because most of it is the usual crap. And we don't do that. So it does take some getting used to. So the system will take some getting used to because it's completely different from anything else you've probably learned or heard, but most especially learned or read. And that is especially what I'm proud about because I don't do what I did to start with. First 10 years was reading every book I could get my hands on, learning every different strategy out there, candlestick patterns, Fibonacci, Elliott waves, the lot. And flipping candlestick and breakout patterns and divergence and you name it. This is a lot simpler, but it's on a simple philosophy, but one is counter towards anything you would have heard probably. Now, with the addition we've got down the bottom, it makes things a lot simpler. We can trade with the trend. We can also trade counter trend swing trade, which is what I used to do all the time, and that's how I made my money. But I've also recently started trend trading with it, and as my confidence has built over time, and I've developed the indicators to be as we need them to be. So this is a trial setup I've got at the bottom. One's a standard indicator and the other one is a trial, but you can quite clearly see on pound dollar that if you had taken it when it went green above red, you would have been in down here somewhere, probably on this spike down here. So you'd have been at 122.80, and you can see it was just crossed probably around here somewhere, around here, and you'd be out at 124.83. Not a bad profit. I was trading the counter trend moves on this, and that was absolutely fine, and we just take our profit. This one here was a break even, so I don't always win. The movement, there was no movement whatsoever, and I was going to bed. It hadn't made enough of a move for me. It started moving higher. I just put my stop loss in, went to bed, and it hit it, and that was it, and it was break even. So I'm absolutely fine with that. No money lost, and I made plenty of money on my other trades during the day. It was trending hard. You can quite clearly see we're in a strong uptrend. We've got the deviation between our moving averages. So the deviation is this point to this point. So that was great. Deviation got less over time, and the price went sideways. I'm not interested at that stage. It spiked again. I re-entered. This was a weak entry, but I woke up, saw it moved higher, so I thought, why not? Went into profit. I didn't take the profit there because I was getting greedy. I wanted my money, and it didn't come down. So it headed higher, but it was still in a great position, and I re-entered and numerous times 3 of those came out, and these 2 came in for a nice profit down the bottom here. So absolutely worked fantastic, and we've got a nice 100 pips or so on that one. And you can see the entry down here was the same, didn't quite move very much, went kind of flat at the end. I took that one out for a little bit of profit. This one's pretty self-explanatory. So over to the US dollar Swiss franc. So the trade I took this morning on this one, absolutely beautiful again, straight back to our moving average again. That was lovely profits on that one yet again. And you can see the price movement, the way it goes. Even when sort of weaker trades like this, we get a nice bit of movement back to the averages. And we can see when the price is oversold. It's quite clear when the price has gone oversold, and it absolutely nails it here. Even if that would have been my early entry, you can see you get a little bit of convergence with those lines at the bottom. You can enter again if you wish to, but I just kept one position on and took the money out of that one as well. Over to Aussie dollar, US dollar, which has been great recently, nice and volatile, and you can see pretty much. This one I just took on the diversions and the spike. It happened here, entered twice, and that was an early entry. I was trading really on the oscillator too much there. Price was still heading up. It broke the high here, but that wasn't really enough. So that was a poor entry on my behalf. Entered again. Price came back down, went past, and I just closed out down here. The reason for closing there, not waiting until it just almost touched it down the bottom here, is it had gone past my entry, which I knew was poor, spiked down. So I'm willing to close that one out for a tiny bit of profit and take a nice bit of profit on the second entry. My first entry, if prices go beyond, as is the case here, this one was quite nice. It ground lower and spiked down. I took the same out there. And here you can see it just kind of goes erratically throughout the day. And then spiked higher again. I kept this position on, and they both closed out down the bottom here. So this was a really was not a perfect entry at all. We haven't got much deviation between the line and our price, but it's at a range. We still had some way to go, but it was just pretty much an early entry and on the oscillators here. So I knew it was weak, and I was prepared to re-enter. You have to be in Forex if you want to nail the top like this one. Absolutely incredible, really. They managed to nail that one. But I don't take credit for that. It's really the oscillators and everything working for me. But you can't trade Forex and expect not to have to re-enter. In fact, if you trade anything, if you're expecting to get the perfect entry and a profit every time on the perfect entry, you're going to be struggling. Nobody knows exactly where the tops and the peaks are. Otherwise, everyone will be multimillionaires. It doesn't happen. Okay, you need to enter multiple positions, and I view my first position as my baseline trade. My other trades after that will then work back to that baseline. I almost always hit that baseline the first trade I put in. That will be a break even. Sometimes it will be a minor loss if price stalls or something like that. So if price does stall and it doesn't come back to your original position, say it went flat here, and we can take a loss in that first position and take profit on the second. You know, you can't trade with the point of getting a home run. I take money. Why do I want to be sitting on positions when I don't need to, when I've got money on the table to take? I'd rather enter those positions and get out of those positions than holding something, waiting for some new spike to take me out. Because that's all the banks do. The banks just spike the market. Okay, all these moves, maybe some BS reason behind it, but news traders are history. That doesn't work that way. They just get spiked out. Things reverse and go the wrong way, contrary to what the news is saying. So we don't trade that way. We trade purely on the technicals, and we've got a very logical system as to why it happens. Is it profitable 100% of the time? Absolutely not. Nothing is. But we are extremely profitable because we trade high probability setups for the way we trade. That's it. Just got to have an edge. And this is our baseline, our blue line. You can see it tells you when it's in a hard trend. That's caution time. Got to be careful. So we know when to be careful. We know when we can trade hard. We know when we can exit the trades. We also have the fantastic ability with this, for example, down here to trade with the trend. So when we've got a situation like this, we can trade these spikes here, get more money than we would do otherwise. This would be a slightly weaker trade. Turns out absolutely fine. We just trade it on the oscillator. If it was to come up here and hesitate, we just come out of that. But almost always you're out for profit. If you were to take this trade, for example, that's fine. You take that one, it reverses back down, and you enter again, it comes up. You clear the first one for a small profit, exit the second one with a nice bit of profit, and just keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Mainly we swing trade though, counter trade, so we enter positions in that way. You can see here, for example, we can see, so it was overbought at this stage. Price has worked its way up. The oscillator gets around the middle area here and starts to stall. Price goes sideways. The oscillator starts to show us that it's going dead. It spikes back down here. You could enter these trades. We are down on lines, but we don't look at the direction of the lines. We look at their relation to how oversold they are. So that's a weak trade because these aren't oversold, but you could enter it. You just got to be prepared for those lines and that price to carry on down. And you have to re-enter positions. It gets oversold here, but we've not really got much on offer. This one would be very tempting for a quick little scalp trade on that one. It comes down again here, same situation again. So you can see just the market's in the trading range. You don't have to be an expert to see that's in the trading range. We always trade zoomed out for the markets. We never trade zoomed in. That's a losing strategy because I don't know how anyone can trade like this. I honestly don't. I don't know what your strategy is there. But this oscillator is not going to work for you. The lines don't work for you. You've got no perspective of the market. You can see candlesticks that are well known to do precisely nothing. And they might work sometimes. They might work others. Well done. If you want to do candlestick trading, enjoy yourselves. I've done it all. I've been there. It doesn't work. So not consistently. It does work sometimes, enough to get you interested and think you're doing something wrong. But you're not doing anything wrong. It's just the markets don't work on candlesticks. Surprisingly, otherwise the banks might have something to do with it. That's who you're up against. Always remember you are against the banks and the hedge funds, algorithms, and the best traders in the world. And you're trying to beat those on a retail platform that's designed to clean you out of money, keep you reinvesting money. So just be aware of who you're going against. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do please like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff for my channel. I'm trying to grow it. Thank you very much. If you're interested, email investyourincome@gmail.com. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you soon.